As much as I enjoyed yesterday's episode of Crime Stoppers, today we're not necessarily talking about crimes, reality crimes. Well, this could be a crime that we don't have this particular cast. What am I talking about? You guys may be asking because I see you are looking at a giant photo of Nene Leakes and Carlos King. Well, Carlos King did his thing, and Nene Leakes popped up on the live chat and they got into some things. Okay. So, what things did they get into? Well, the one that's making the news rounds today, y'all, is Nene Leakes' Dreamcast for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all ready for it? Okay. I always love these discussions, y'all, because I mean, why not? Like, especially from somebody who is like the OG of OGs. Technically, when you think about the OGs, I mean, it's Vicky Gumbelson, then Nene Leakes, Teresa. Oh, I'm gonna really say LVP instead of Kyle. I'm gonna say Bethany in the sense of New York. I mean, when you really think about it, like OGs, Nene Leakes is the OG of Atlanta, right? Now, whether or not she ever graces the screen of Real Housewives of Atlanta or not, she is etched in the Mount Rushmore of housewives by so many people. So when she speaks, we listen. And I love Nene Leakes. Listen, I've long since told y'all Nene Leakes just needs to be on the YouTube. She needs a talk show. You know, but in the sense of like, I like Nene a little more when she's just off the cuff like this than when she's sat staged with preparation. Because I think that staged preparation doesn't really it boxes her in. And when she is sort of free to move about like this and just sort of speak, this is much better. Okay. So that's my opinion. Let's get into the tea. All right. So her dream cast includes obviously herself, the Kenya Moore. Okay. Um, she basically goes on to say Kenya is iconic in her own right. She does also include Portia Williams. No surprise there. Portia is, I would say, one of the driving forces for Atlanta right now, clearly, as I think we all know. She also includes Phaedra Parks, which I'm not surprised about. I mean, you know, I think Nene also recognized the power of having people that could also spar with her as well and that have held their own against her. Like she also recommends Kim Zolciak because she knows that people just want to see her and Kim together, as evidenced by Kim hearting this post. People want to see Kim, whether they are fighting, Nene and Kim fighting or not. I personally would love to see, Andy announced that they were going to do the Housewives road trip. I would love to see Nene, Kim, and maybe Sheree on a road trip going to different cities. I feel like Nene and Kim give you a bit more energy than Sheree. Sheree is kind of low energy, but she's good for a shady read, right? And she also did recommend Sheree because I mean she says Sheree is going to be good to fight with somebody, maybe not her. She also recommended Candy because she said so that she could watch Candy eat all the food. All right. And last but not least, of course, she recommended not Cynthia, not Marlo, not Eva, Claudia Jordan. I agree. I 100% agree with that because I think that Nene, because Nene was like, yeah, so I could punch her in her mouth. And I was like, ooh, not the violence of it all, girl. But based on Claudia reposting, some of the clips of some of the ladies talking about how they felt like her time on the show was too short, I would 100% agree with that. I'm not sure why, or I mean, we've heard the stories about what happened for her second season, but I just think it's unfortunate because I think had she been given a second season, that she would have probably been on the show a lot longer. And I think that it would have been a very dynamic show, especially considering that at some point Nene was going to leave. And then the show would kind of go through an interesting period. And maybe Claudia would have been there throughout that period. I know that I just feel like she speaks her mind. She's obviously great looking and she's articulate, she's smart. So I 100% agree with this cast list. I think it's the perfect choice for a solid Real Housewives of Atlanta cast. Although I might would add Angela Oakley and I might take somebody else out. I would probably add Angela and take somebody else out. Yeah. She's a good addition to that cast. All right, so that is Nene Leakes letting us know her dream team. You better get with you playing with the wrong team. You better get with the right team, as Nene would say. Okay, so this is something else that I found interesting. I really wasn't going to talk about this per se, but I just thought it was such an interesting discussion. And I really could see people like really going weighing in on this. So Dr. Heavenly admits that she's not proud of growing up on government assistance. She says, I don't think that's congressional, so I don't say it. All right, so y'all know she's running for the House of Representatives in Georgia's 13th district. And she talked about this on a live. I think this was while they were at BravoCon. And Quad was encouraging her to embrace her upbringing and share her story during the campaign. Now, I'm just going to like play some of this through and we'll talk a little bit because I don't necessarily know where else this may be posted. But this is honestly posted for healthy discussion. And I want to dive into it a little bit.
I grew up on government assistance, right?
Those are the things.
Went to the inner city schools.
Those are the things.
I don't think that that's congressional, so I don't say it.
But it's not about. Hold on, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. I'm gonna open up the floor to somebody else.
Okay, so I also want to shout out Live Bites for capturing this as well. So growing up, I think a reality, and maybe she's still living with this to a certain degree. The reality of the situation is that I think growing up, I know a lot of people would have probably not wanted to say or admit that they were on public assistance. I just don't think that just remembering my childhood and listening to people talk about food stamps and they would make the jokes about it. And remember, Dr. Heavenly is somebody who at least up until this past year still made those yo mama jokes that were so prevalent when a lot of us were growing up, right? And so I'm probably aging myself, but I don't really care at this point because I mean we famine at this point. So I just wonder how much of that still lingers within her mind, right? If you're honest with yourselves, I honestly, this is my genuine thought and I didn't think about this as I made this decision to talk about this, but as I was thinking about it, as she said it, I wondered how much of that mentality from when we were growing up is still held within her, and she was being honest in that moment. Now let's listen to what Quad has to say.
And I'm not proud of how.
Baby, no. Let me tell you something. It's not about being congressional. That's where you're going wrong. It's about being human. It's about being having that relatability. You live the life that a lot of our people today are living. People are trying to figure out how they're gonna eat, so the SNAP benefits are gone. We're 2 weeks ahead of Thanksgiving. It's somebody right now don't know what they're gonna put on their table. You can talk and speak to that. You came up on government assistance. Why is that embarrassing? No, that's not embarrassing.
You know what? I like this conversation so much, and I know people are gonna have their opinions because I see them in the comment section on the Neighborhood Talk. Quad makes every point like complex. Listen, the idea of what we experienced when we were growing up is such a different. There's one perception when you were a young kid and you're talking about another kid. I mean, because I saw it with my own eyes. People got picked on. And then the reality of being an adult, okay? Being an adult and having bills, having to deal with credit, having to deal with hospital bills, which come up out of nowhere, student loans, home rent, paying for kids' tuition or schooling in general, the things that the average everyday adult has to go through and pay nowadays. I mean, I know people that are like, how can I get a part of that assistance, right? Um, that's just the reality. That's just the truth, right? Now, um, I never had that experience, so I can't speak to it personally. I'm just saying that that's what I saw growing up, right? And so, something that Dr. Heavenly asked in this moment, which I think is so super real, is that doesn't does that look bad on my mom? And and again, I think that there's a mentality there, a PTSD of some sort that also lends itself to why she goes to the yo mama jokes. Um, that is still there from childhood. And I think that that is affecting what she is saying in real time right now.
That's
No,
not
because your mom
embarrassing.
provided. She provided.
She did what she had to do, and there's so
Right.
many other people out here.
Doing
They're
the
trying to
same.
they're making ends meet. So they might got to go to the food pantries. They might have to go and have food stamps. Right now, they can't even get food stamps.
And to be honest with you, when people nowadays, I was talking to just I was having a conversation with, some family members and just kind of understanding that sometimes when they're getting these benefits, that some people are only getting like $30. Like I mean, it's really not a lot. So when you listen to the reality of what Quad is saying, Quad is absolutely 100% correct. And Dr. Heavenly has to get out of her own way about that, because right now people are going through it. And her story will resonate because that is her experience. But as a lot of as a lot of you people may judge where Dr. Heavenly's coming from, I would also say to you, it's easy to judge when you're not the person in that person's shoes. But I know a lot of you guys are probably looking at it as, well, you are now a candidate. So now you have to realize that this story rings true to you, and it may bring back those feelings, that PTSD, or that I don't want to call it PTSD because I think that's a generalization, but those feelings of whatever that felt like at the time. But remember, that's how you relate to people. And not everybody is easily able to be that transparent. But now that you're on this path of trying to serve and help the people, then you've got to learn to be that open about these things.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So don't let me tell you something. The beauty and the most power you have, if you never hear me say anything, friend, the most power that you have is being who you are and telling who you are and telling your story. If you unlock that, I don't think there'll be a candidate stronger than you.
And that's the word. I mean, honestly, y'all, what Quad said right there is probably some of the best advice that you could be given in any occupation, in any field, um, specifically if you are trying to be a public servant, is your ability to relate to the people in your constituency is going to be the thing that drives you in this current climate. People want to know that you can lead, but people also want to know that you can relate. And so, you know, it, it is what it is. I mean, I mean, I liken it to, I share my struggles with my glasses or grinding my teeth. And these are fairly innocuous things to share, right? But it, it resonates for some of you because you too experience the same issues. Now I understand because I said something. Oh, this is a natural thing. Oh, not more people experience this than I realize. Sharing our experiences in that way is what brings people closer together. So I hope that we get to see. I would, if I were on the PR team for Dr. Heavenly and Quad, I would have them have more conversations like this. I really would. I would. I mean, weekly, it would be conversations just like this, off the cuff, just just with another celebrity or something like that, or just something that people, another celebrity, I say, so they could gain the interest, but then having the real raw take on it, so that they can get the real raw emotion, and it translates well on. And there are people who are saying in the chat like, oh, Quad should be running instead of Dr. Heavenly. But I just feel like that was such a nice, it's such an interesting moment to me. So anyway, let me know what y'all think. I know I went down a rabbit hole, but that's what we do. So with that being said, make sure you guys like this video. If you like reality TV related content, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already done so. And I will catch you, of course. Listen, oh. Definitely register for the trip to Vietnam if you haven't already done so. It's going to be the experience of a lifetime. If you have not gone on one of these trips, I'm just going to tell you that it's life-changing. It is inspiring. It is for the person who already knows that you want to go. I'm going to go ahead and tell you to give yourself permission to do it. Give yourself permission to do it. You've been scared. You've been trying to make a decision. You've been wanting to do something different, and you just haven't given yourself the freedom to do so. Click the link in the description of this video. I promise you, your life will be forever changed as a result. All right. I'll catch you on the next video.